Here's why Blood and Cheese killed Jaehaerys in House of the Dragon Season 2. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and brutal events in House of the Dragon Season 2, the murder of young Prince Jaehaerys Targaryen at the hands of two assassins known as Blood and Cheese. This event isn't just about the death of a child. It's about vengeance, symbolism, the brutal cycle of war, and the escalating conflict between the Greens and the Blacks during the Dance of the Dragons. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just how it happened, but why it happened, and why it stands as one of the darkest moments in all of Westeros history. So sit tight, because this is going to be an in-depth breakdown of betrayal, revenge, and the high cost of civil war. Setting the stage, the Dance of the Dragons. Before we talk about the killing itself, we need to set the stage. The Dance of the Dragons is the name for the Targaryen civil war that broke out after King Jaehaerys I died. The conflict was essentially a battle over succession. Would the throne go to Princess Rhaenyra, his chosen heir and firstborn child? Or would it go to Aegon II, his son from Queen Alicent Hightower? This wasn't just a family squabble. It was a clash of ideologies, loyalties, and power grabs. The realm itself was split between two factions. The Blacks, who supported Rhaenyra's claim. The Greens, who backed Aegon II. The first season of House of the Dragon ended with blood already boiling. In the finale, Prince Lucerys Velaryon, Rhaenyra's son, was killed by Aemon Targaryen while riding his dragon, Vhagar. It was a shocking, emotional, and tragic death that left viewers stunned. This act set off a chain reaction. Lucerys' death was the spark that ignited full-on war. And Rhaenyra, devastated and enraged, demanded blood for blood. Blood for blood. Rhaenyra's demand. When Rhaenyra received news of Lucerys' death, her grief quickly turned to fury. The Blacks believed Aemon had murdered Lucerys intentionally, even if the show depicted it as an accident gone out of control. In her rage, Rhaenyra declared that a son must pay for a son. This wasn't just about justice, it was about vengeance, deterrence, and showing strength. In Westeros, showing weakness meant losing power, and Rhaenyra couldn't afford that. Daemon Targaryen, her husband and one of the most dangerous men in Westeros, took her words literally. He wasn't going to wait for diplomacy or trials. He was going to strike back hard, and he knew exactly how to do it. That's where Blood and Cheese enter the picture. Who were Blood and Cheese? The names themselves sound like something out of a nightmare, and honestly, that's fitting. Blood and Cheese were not noble knights, assassins trained in shadows, or even political players. They were low-born men, mercenaries of the darkest kind. Blood was a former Gold Cloak, a member of the City Watch who had turned to crime. Cheese was a ratcatcher in the Red Keep, someone who knew the castle's hidden passages, tunnels, and secret ways. Together, they made a terrifying duo, one with fighting experience and the other with insider knowledge of King's Landing. Daemon hired them for one gruesome purpose: to infiltrate the Red Keep and assassinate one of the Greens' heirs. This is where the horror truly begins. Using Cheese's knowledge of the Red Keep's secret passages, the assassins slipped into the castle undetected. They weren't there to steal gold or jewels. They were there to deliver a message in blood. Their target, a son of Aegon II. But here's the thing. In the twisted rules of Westeros vengeance, it didn't even matter which son. Rhaenyra had lost a son, and now Alicent and Aegon were going to feel that same pain. The encounter with Queen Helaena. When Blood and Cheese finally made their move, they cornered Queen Helaena Targaryen, Aegon II's wife and sister. What followed is one of the most disturbing and heartbreaking moments in House of the Dragon. The assassins forced Helaena to choose which one of her children would die. Imagine the cruelty of that demand. A mother forced to pick which of her babies lives and which one is slaughtered. Helaena, terrified and broken, pointed to her youngest child, Maelor, hoping the assassins would show mercy and spare her older son and daughter. But Blood and Cheese were not men of mercy. They mocked her choice and instead killed Prince Jaehaerys, her firstborn son and heir. This wasn't just murder, it was sadistic psychological torture. Why Jaehaerys? The symbolism of his death. Now comes the key question. Why Jaehaerys? Why was he the one chosen to die in House of the Dragon Season 2? The answer lies in both symbolism and practicality. 1. He was the firstborn son of Aegon II, Killing Jaehaerys was a direct strike at Aegon's line of succession. It weakened the Greens by removing their heir and sent a chilling message: the Blacks could reach into the Red Keep itself. 2. To mirror Lucerys' death, Rhaenyra had lost a son. Now Alicent and Aegon would lose a son. It was vengeance in its purest, most brutal form. 3. The cruelty of defying Helaena's choice. By killing Jaehaerys instead of Maelor, the assassins deepened the emotional wound. Helaena wasn't just left grieving. She was left broken, guilty, and haunted by the belief that her choice had condemned her son. The psychological impact. The killing of Jaehaerys wasn't just a physical blow to the Greens. It was a psychological one. For Aegon too, it was a devastating attack on his family and his pride as king. He had failed to protect his heir within his own castle. For Alicent, it was yet another reminder of how her children would forever be targets in this war. For Helaena, it was soul-shattering trauma. In both the books and the show, she never truly recovers from that night. This is why Blood and Cheese killing Jaehaerys is considered one of the cruelest acts in all of Westeros history. It wasn't just about killing a child, it was about breaking the will of a family. The cycle of violence. Here's the tragic truth. This act didn't end anything. It only escalated the war further. The Greens, enraged by Jaehaerys' murder, sought vengeance of their own. Blood begets blood, and the dance of the dragons spiraled even deeper into chaos. This is the true reason Blood and Cheese killed Jaehaerys. It was not simply an assassination. It was the start of a bloody cycle of revenge killings, betrayals, and devastation that would consume the entire Targaryen dynasty. When we look at this moment through a storytelling lens, it serves several major themes. 1. The corruption of power. Civil war twists morality. Even those who claim to fight for justice end up embracing cruelty when vengeance takes over. 2. The loss of innocence. The killing of children in war is the ultimate symbol of how far a society has fallen. Jaehaerys' death marks the dance of the dragons crossing a line from political dispute into sheer savagery. 3. The inevitability of tragedy. In the world of George R.R. Martin, vengeance rarely ends well. Every act of violence only invites more, creating an endless cycle of loss. It's worth noting that House of the Dragon doesn't shy away from brutality, but it does choose carefully what to depict on screen. In George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, the account of Jaehaerys' death is even more chilling in detail. By adapting it for television, the creators ensured that it was shocking without being gratuitous. But the emotional impact remained just as strong.